Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel on the WCW Saturday Night Review series for the 19th of December 1992. We are about a week and a half away, a little less than that, from Starrcade 92 with this episode. They do a review of last week's main event match with Steamboat and Wyndham. As mentioned in previous audios, do not like the review series. I understand why people do it because they assume that they need to catch people that didn't hit the program up well and make that work. But I'm not a fan because at the end of the day, here's the reality: when you give people a reason not to watch your show, they will find a reason to do something else. And so every show should be can't miss television. That's the way I believe in booking. Anyway, Steamboat and Pillman start the program here this week. Pillman obviously in the midst of a complete heel turn, and he continues to be under the skin to kind of sends Steamboat to the outside, does the outside in suplex, does Pillman. Pillman at this point is my favorite version of Brian Pillman, the heel version, 93. Through his going to WWF in 96, of course, taking time off for the car accident, or I believe a motorcycle accident that he had, which is ultimately what ended his career indirectly and ended his life. He was still wrestling at the time of his death. However, he was in barely any shape to perform. Steamboat, though, comes up with a vertical suplex series, then starts to go after Pillman with shots. Pillman backs off, does a lot of begging off. Awesome. Pillman fakes a knee injury and goes pretty aggressively at things. Pillman takes Steamboat down, goes to the outside, tries to go to the top rope and finish things off in a meaningful fashion. Steamboat cuts him off and again does the launch from the top rope. This match is worth going out of your way to see. Pillman at this time thriving. Steamboat, I guess I'm biased because he's my all-time favorite wrestler, but by far still in his, I wouldn't say prime, but still super, super effective. Spinning neckbreaker by Steamboat here, and they give them nearly 10 minutes. Steamboat goes for some takedowns, some very basic things, and gets the advantage here. Ultimately, hard shots by Pillman, and again, some kicks to the back of the leg, goes at him and does everything he possibly can to get advantages. Steamboat gets locked in the figure four. Pillman uses the ropes and will use every advantage he can possibly get. Steamboat does manage to fight back from underneath, and the attempted figure four again. This time Steamboat with a roll up rolls through and ultimately gets a last minute victory there. Jim Ross goes and they do a acknowledgement of the upcoming pay-per-view, plus highlights of Masahiro Chono and other things. Too Cold Scorpio out again. Scorpio here through 1994. Enhancement match. Scorpio, probably one of the best light heavyweights in the world at the time. Wish that they had done more with him. Honestly, I think if Bill Watts had stayed, maybe they would have tried to do something like a light heavyweight version of the Junkyard Dog with him or something. But anyway, enhancement match here takes him to the back. It takes him to the corner. And then we see some dives over the top rope. First of its kind at the time in this country. Does the 450 splash and eventually gets the victory. Does Scorpio. Then Vader kind of talks about still wanting to get his hands on Sting. Actually wins the second WCW title going forward. They do a highlight of the Sting and Vader series for quite a while, like a 5-minute video package. Rick Rude and Paul Orndorff continue their alliance that started several weeks ago. Then we go back to the ring with Johnny B. Bad being a tag team partner with Marcus Bagwell. Not necessarily sure why Bagwell keeps getting bounced around. He eventually does settle on the Too Cold Scorpio team and later the team with the Patriot. Bagwell over the next few, and Scotty Riggs for that matter, Bagwell known as a tag team wrestler for the next probably about 3 years or so before turning heel with the Buff thing. Mike Thor and Chris Sullivan are their opponents, and as can be assimilated through the quality of competition, the baby faces are in strong control here. Drop toe holds, arm drags, arm bars, and the like by Johnny B. Bad, who actually by about a year and a half has a experience advantage. Bagwell comes in, works over the arm. Really simple stuff. Nothing to write home about. And certainly not a match you have to go out of your way to see. Unless you're a completist like me. Bagwell comes in, hot tag. Why he needs a hot tag in a match such as this, I don't know. But anyway, drop kicks by Bagwell. And manages to continue. Johnny B. Bad talks about wanting to win at Battle Mall. He and Cactus Jack go at it, and basically Bad says he's going to knock out Scotty Flamingo, going to knock out just about anyone he can, and his own partner if he needs to. Rick Rude still promoting his match with Ron Simmons at Starrcade, so that must have been stopped immediately. The King of Cable battle between Vader and the Stinger is at hand. Barry Windham still talking about wanting to be a tag team partner with Brian Pillman more regularly. At a point in a couple of weeks, they actually tried to make Austin Pillman and Windham a trio. That doesn't exactly go according to plan, but it is what it is. Enhancement talent match for Cactus Jack. Cactus still, as I've mentioned before, kind of wandering around, wobbling around over the next little while, kicks and takedowns and such by Cactus. He does the crack smash and the double arm DDT, and he gets the victory. Ron Simmons spends the next 3 or 4 minutes doing a sit-down interview. I like the up-close interview process. Simmons basically promising that he is going to beat Rick Rude, also promising that he is going to be at the top of his game come the pay-per-view there, and ultimately some continued issues between, and they go back to the heel turn highlight with Windham on Steamboat, and this time we've got Windham and Shane Douglas in a singles match as our main event here this week. They've been given about 15, 17 minutes. Really good match, worth going out of your way to see. Basic babyface spots, clothesline hip tosses, and the like by Douglas. Douglas clears house, and Windham goes down to the outside. Pillman comes down to second the man that will be his partner at the pay-per-view. I don't know if the original plan was Pillman and Windham getting the shot, and then they moved it to, or Pillman and Austin getting the shot, and then they move it to Pillman, Windham, move it back and forth. But Hammerlock takedown and takeover by Shane Douglas, and Steamboat makes his way down mid-match. So both teammates are on the outside of the ring cheering on their respective partners. Back fist by Windham, trying to get a pin, trying to cheat, choke, and do anything he possibly can. Windham sends Douglas over the top rope. I don't know that the referee caught it or the top rope rule not in allowance, and there is a shot on the floor by Windham. Windham takes his man out and gets a victory over Shane Douglas in the middle of the ring, using the brawling on the floor as a way to get a victory there, and ultimately he kind of hits a running stomp to the back of the head. Douglas unable to defend himself appropriately, and basically Steamboat and Douglas are apparently going to go into issues. Rick Rude and Paul Orndorff up next in a tag team match. Interesting team that I wonder if they would have gone further had Rude not gotten injured or where that was going. Natural Dustin Rhodes is out here. Rude still the U.S. champion. That changes at Starrcade, but that's neither here nor there. Obviously, the Rude deal there. Simmons and Dustin Rhodes versus Rude and Paul Orndorff is the match that they give the final 6 minutes or 7 minutes of the show to. Medusa, still with Rick Rude, by the way. She's still there, has not left for WWF yet, which is her next stop sometime in '93, although she does do some work in Japan along the way. Um, Leapfrogs and crazy speed from Orndorff and Rhodes. Crossbody by Rhodes, and he manages to go right at his adversary pretty assertively, aggressively there, and ultimately kind of sees things going in a positive or somewhat positive direction. Anyway, big body slam by Orndorff. Orndorff manages to come up with things, and again, um, some arm ringers, arm bars, and Rude still looks good. So obviously they taped this weeks before, or at least a week before Rick Rude gets injured. Anyway, they go around Rude and Rhodes still there. 2 minutes left in the program, and they're still locking up. Bill Watts does a masterful job always of taking action right till the final moment. This is no different, and Rude cuts the ring off on Rhodes. As we close the program, there is, the Rude Awakening by Rick Rude. Couple of shots, and all four guys in the ring as we close the program with no winner here. But we'll be back with more right after this.